I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace. And we're the Disruptors. Hey, welcome to the show, Bill. I'm glad that you could make it.
We're out of the cave.
We are.
I didn't
we're
know
actually
there
on
was
location.
daylight at this time of the day.
There is.
Oh,
I know
this
it's
is
shocking,
exciting.
but
I
true.
know it is.
And I've left the producer at home, so
That's good.
Patty Pug is,
that's a shame.
napping, I'm sure,
Good.
doing all the heavy lifting.
What today is our topic of conversation?
Well, we're pretty excited because we're going to do a series of powerful women in business. I know that kind of excludes you, but it's okay.
I didn't think so.
You got to channel your feminine stuff.
I'll try real hard.
We'll dig deep.
So I'm going to let you introduce the guest because you're just babbling anyway, so you might as well
There you go, bumping your china. Actually, we're really privileged and honored to have this amazing woman. She's been in business 3 decades.
Oh,
so she's been in business.
Decades.
Yes, 3 decades.
That's almost as old as you are. You're 3
almost.
centuries.
Well, but I look good. Right. So what else can we say? She's in 3 different industries. Just an incredible, incredible woman. So we're privileged and honored to introduce to our listening audience, Kelly Ellington Coyne. Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, we're really honored to have you. So we're going to just start off with, we want to get to know you a little bit. So what drew you to business in the very beginning?
I didn't want to work for anybody else. I have a strong personality and I wanted to work on my own.
Well, I think that's good. So now, what types of industries have you been in with business?
Well, I sell real estate and I own a day spa up on South Hill, Puyallup, Arabella Vital. And I also own an adult family home, Magic Hands Adult Family Home.
So let's start here. How long have you been selling real estate?
31 years.
What drew you to real estate?
I love the housing market. So I love the different changes in the market. I love the interior designs of different homes. I love building homes. So just a vast, array of things for real estate. I love real estate.
Old friend of mine would just say, God ain't making no more dirt. So, whatever's out there is out there. Yep. So, now what drew you to the adult family home? Because those are 2 very different industries.
My husband his parents were older. Mm-hmm. And his dad was in the hospital and he did not want to go to a nursing home. And so we converted our house to take care of him originally. And then George's mother got cancer. And so we took care of her until she passed away. In the process of all of that, though, we found out about adult family homes and how necessary they are in the industry, in our community. And so we decided to open up an adult family home. Has it been
hard? I mean, I know that it's regulated.
It is.
And it's probably changed over the 20 plus years.
A lot.
Well, I know that there's a lot more adult family homes in the area, and they're opening up new ones all the time.
Well, the assisted livings are what's really crushing adult family homes at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's so many options now where you can go into an assisted living and have an individual apartment-like setting. And where with an adult family home, you live in a community setting.
Sure.
So it's more of a home environment than an industry type environment.
Yeah, I bet you've got lots of stories to tell there. You should write a book. How about Arabella Vital? How long has this been opened?
This has been 16 years. And I've been a massage therapist for almost 30 years, about 28. I love it.
It's a whole other industry.
Yeah, the whole reason I started Arabella Vital is because there was a need in the market to be able to bring the different modalities to one business site. So when we started 16 years ago, you'd have to go somewhere to get a facial, you'd have to go somewhere to get a massage, you'd have to go somewhere to get a pedicure, manicure. So we brought it all under one roof. So, and it's been great.
What has been... I was just debating on how to frame it.
I see.
Because... you learn life lessons through business. And, I've often said that opening up a business is probably one of the most vulnerable acts of courage because whoever you are comes to the table. If you're a liar and a thief, guess what? that's going to pop out. People are going to, you might have your mask on for a while, but it'll be right there. It'll eventually drop off. If you're a person of honor and integrity, it's the same thing. That's what your reputation will be known for. And so what has been some of your biggest life lessons that you've learned in opening all these different companies?
Life lessons, you have to have a lot of patience.
I do. I have to always constantly nurture myself with Bill, but I didn't want to bring him into the mix. It's okay, Bill. Thanks.
I'll just sit here and wait for the bus driver.
There's a lot of aspects to running your own business and a lot of lessons that you learn along the way. I just think you have to have a lot of patience. You have to be really a person that's driven in order to stay in business.
What's your biggest struggle, or what's been your biggest struggle in owning these companies?
Employees. That's been the biggest struggle. Keeping employees. And I don't care how much schooling you have. If you don't have the work ethic, you're not going to be able to make it. So that's been our biggest dilemma. Everything else has been smooth.
Since you've been in business so long, and with the variety of industries that you've been involved with, how has hiring employees, firing employees, how has that whole entire piece changed over the last 20 years?
Well, I just think that depending on who you hire, I mean, if you hire someone that's a little bit more mature, then they're not so interested in like the cell phones and stuff. But if you hire someone that's younger, they keep their cell phones with them all the time. And so they need to concentrate more on working and not so much on themselves.
Well, it's definitely a culture shift.
It is.
Whenever we go into different companies, one of the things that we always have to address is that, working is not being entertained. Mm-hmm. And we're not paying you to be entertained. You can do that at home on your couch.
Yes.
At your girlfriend's, in the car. I mean, wherever else you're at.
Yeah.
But
this is a family show, so try to keep the standards up, will
there
you?
You
just
go
a little
again.
bit. Yeah.
There you go.
I hate to interrupt.
Always dragging us down.
Oh, yeah.
Dragging us back. You're supposed to uplift
I just
us.
wanted to bring you back to the business aspect of the show.
Have you noticed any difference? Has it been hard for you for being a woman, or have you noticed any prejudices or anything like that?
No, I haven't. Not really.
Some of the ladies we've interviewed, different industries, they've talked about just some different things that it's harder because it's gender-based. I'm not so much sure that's, the ethnicity of individuals as much as it's gender. So I know that with different industries, if a woman's sitting at the table and a man, instinctively, the man the male will end up getting the contract or the job. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we ask that, just because things are changing, but I'm not so sure that they've changed that much. I know we're not in the South. We are here in Washington. At least Bill keeps reminding me that.
Yes, we are still in Washington. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just
more liberal.
That's much more liberal. Yeah.
Yes.
More taxes, more liberal, and more yacky doodle. Yes, very much so.
So, if you could, what are 3 things you would change about business?
If you had a magic wand, you could just sit there and look at the whole variety of business, from employees to taxes to the whole thing. What would you like to see a change? How would you make that change work?
More qualified employees.
Okay.
So, and I'm not sure how you would change that other than a lot of it is through education. And when they're in school, I think that they need to have business classes so that they know that it's not just, it's not just going out and punching in and punching out. It's actually you have to work.
Bill and I can speak for both of us. We couldn't agree with you more.
Very true.
We did it was some type of a high school senior.
It was a vocational training type deal. And it was college students getting ready to go to college from high school graduation. And we found that the majority of them wandered around like they had no idea where they were at. Mm-hmm. Chickens in a barnyard, just kind of wandering around.
And what were the comments? Matter of fact, not one. This actually was disheartening to us as when we were talking about it, but not one had wanted to open up a business. And then the other comments that were, to me, they were just so short-sighted. We had a gentleman that did IT that was next to me, and a lot of the kids ran over there to IT, and their comments leaving his table was, I can get an IT job and make bank, and then I don't have to worry about anything. And I thought, no, that's not true. And I mean, it was just so, we're totally on your bandwagon there. Mm-hmm. So what's the second thing?
I think the other thing is that small businesses should come together, and there ought to be the same kind of health benefits for employees that these larger corporations can offer their employees. Because I know that they're not paying $1,000 per person. No. So there's got to be a discount for small business to be able to offer their employees medical and dental and, life insurance, some kind of benefit package. I would love to see that happen. So, because you have to have some kind of incentives for people to come and work for you. And large corporations can have those incentives. And sure. Small businesses should be able to allow, have that also. And then the other thing I would change is just being taxed to death as a small business. So just recently they've implemented, of course, the medical leave. Sure. So paid medical leave. And if you have less than, I believe it is 5 employees, they're supposed to be able to take that out of the employee's paycheck to cover their paid leave. Well, the amount that comes out of the employees is only like 57 cents every payday. 57
cents every payday.
Yeah. So then
wow.
But the employer has to pick up the rest of that. So wow. You're paying for them to take sick leave, which I have no problem with. I understand people have issues, but for a small business, it really cuts into any kind of profit that you would have made.
Well, and they just increased B&O tax, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That just passed.
So it all goes up.
I had listened to Denny Heck, and I was actually kind of excited because he was opening for this seminar conference thing. And he was talking about how, there's not a better time to be in small business and to own a company. And I couldn't agree with him more, except I thought, you know what, but I want, Denny, you used to own businesses. Could you survive, having to pay all of the new taxes that roll out? And, you get larger corporations that get the larger tax breaks.
Right.
And, it's not an equal playing field. Mm-hmm. And no. Washington is really not very business friendly. Mm-hmm. So you have to be pretty doggone savvy. So I applaud you for even staying in business, still being in business after, 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. So that within itself is a feat that's noteworthy, because it isn't easy and there's so many hurdles to override. I know in large corporations too, they have the ability, they just call the different firms and they do all the legwork, and then they just bring in, okay, this is your package. Where, it's very simple. We're small business. It's just a completely different conversation. It's you doing all the legwork, you hunting down all the benefits. I don't know. Lots of other companies, what are they? Benefit firms will say that they do a lot of small business, but...
Yeah, they actually do. But on the other hand, what can small business actually offer? You've got the bottom line. You've got to make sure that you can take the bread home every night. You have construction. You have, if you want to develop and grow, you have all these avenues that you have to look at. So we have to balance it out between the employee's benefits and how the employee can become a part of the family in the company, not just an employee. And then we have to look at how we can balance out the structure of the cost of doing business to be able to survive.
Well, you're absolutely right. And then how do we, you don't want to raise your prices and mark yourself so far outside of where the consumer doesn't stop by anymore. And it's an incredible juggling act.
It is.
And we'll sit in front of it, and talk to people that, they're in their 70s, they're in their early 80s, and they'll talk about how the fact, that they want to sell their company and they've never created a company. They've only created a job.
Absolutely.
So it's...
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are small business owners created themselves a job. They might have 5 or 6 employees